How lucky am I to talk to all of these people with such a vast amount of knowledge and information about things. It's a privilege to sit with you and chat, because I hear that you know a lot about the home referred to as the sale loft. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this home.
When it was a home, the sale loft building?
Tell me the whole history, any history you know about.
The story is the building was first built as a laundry called the Crystal Springs Laundry, because apparently there was a stream that came down the hill that's opposite the building, and went down past the building, and they washed clothes there. Then it was bought by a sailmaker named Charles Howes, or Charlie Howes usually called, whose picture is out there in the hall. He had been a sailmaker in Boston, then he worked for somebody down here, and then he set up his own business in that building. And all that existed then was the large part of the building, the front room, in other words. And it was all open, so he could lay his canvas out all over the floor to cut the sails.
Right, so he needed a lot of space.
Yes, he did a lot, because he made sails for schooners that sailed out of the harbor.
And so what year was this about?
Oh, late 19th century, 1880s, 90s, if I remember correctly.
Because the homeowners told me that they're not exactly sure the date of the home, because the only reason that they base it on is...
Well, they live in the addition.
Okay.
They live in the new part. I'm talking about the part that was made into a garage and a storeroom. The old building, which is the largest structure there. My father bought it 1947 or something like that.
Okay, your father bought it.
My father bought it. He had retired from a business because he wanted to live in Chatham, so he left his business up near Boston, and my mother had inherited a house on Stage Harbor from her family, so they moved there. And he felt he needed to have something to do, and they were friends with John Emery, who owned the building and had a candle factory there. Mm-hmm. He had during the 30s and up until the early 40s, I think. And so my father didn't know what he was going to do, but John Emery sold him the building, as I said, for a very nominal amount. And my father and mother thought they'd have a gift shop there in the front part. And then at the beginning, we rented our own house down on Stage Harbor for the summer and lived in that building in the back part.
Okay. Yeah.
For one summer. It was not exactly an attractive place to, well, it was attractive, but it was a very crowded place to live.
All right. Was it a gift shop at that time, or
what's that,
was it a gift shop at that time?
No, this was before it was gift shop. They used the back part to live in, and they had a kitchen right behind the main part that they added. And my mother said after one summer, I'm not going to live there anymore. I'm going to live in my own house. So they didn't stay there another summer. Then he opened a gift shop in the front part, in the main part, and the back part was relatively empty. This is before the big addition was on.
Okay.
And then he started selling clothing in the back part, which is now a kitchen. It was all open at that point.
Okay, I can picture that.
And then my brother and I said, you really ought to have more space. You ought to have your clothing, sell it in the front part to give up the gifts. So he started selling clothing throughout the whole part. And let's see, well, that went on for, I don't know how many, 20, 30 years at least. And then when my wife and I moved down here and took over the business, we continued to operate that, but we also opened up branches in Cotuit and Duxbury, so we had 3 stores going, all clothing stores.
And all called the Sale Loft.
It's all called the Sale Loft.
Based on the original sailmaking that went on there.
That's built on, because of the original name.
Right.
Yeah, but it so happened in Duxbury, we were in a building that hadn't been a sail loft, but it had been for maritime activities.
Oh yeah, Duxbury is a very maritime town.
What's that?
Very maritime
It
town.
is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where am I now? We want to know what happened after that.
Yeah. So you and your wife took it over. So was your father a clothier? What did you?
No. He knew
haberdashery. Is this part of your heritage? Where did you guys come from that you ended up selling clothes?
He knew nothing about it. He had been a purchasing agent for a company that made valves.
Okay.
And when he decided he was going to sell clothing there, he went to New York and went to a company he knew sold women's clothing. And he said, I don't know anything about buying women's clothing. So they said, well, we'll tell you what to do. And they gave him names of different companies and where he should go and what he should buy. And that's what he did. He just went and confessed his ignorance, and they told him to go ahead and do it.
Yes. So he just had an idea and decided to do it and do it well. If he's going to do it well. So he researched it enough to be able to do it. And it did do well for a long time.
Yes, it did very well.
And then you inherited the business.
Yes,
and so did you expect yourself to be doing that too?
My wife had done the buying for him for, many years. We lived in Connecticut. I taught school there.
Okay.
And she would meet him in New York and do the buying. So when he decided he was going to retire from the business, I decided to quit my teaching job and come up here and take over the business.
And sell clothes.
That's right, and sell clothes.
Well, the homeowner has spectacular memories about going there. As I imagine, and even actually talking to the interior designer who designed the home as it is right now, the interiors, she has spectacular memories about shopping at the
really?
sale loft.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
The homeowner, the reason that they bought that was because of his fond memories
see.
shopping with his mother there.
Yeah.
She still has a purse that she bought 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, we sold a lot of purses, as a matter of fact, all mainly from one company.
Yeah. And so when's the last time you've seen it or been in it?
Well, when the Collinses owned it, I used to go there some now and then because we were old friends.
Yeah, they did a nice job in some of their the pieces they did. Did they put the winch on the stairs going?
Ned Collins did that. Ned, as being an architect, liked to do all the little touches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He bought the building because, being an architect, it was a challenge for him to do something with it.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen to it. We had it on our hands. It was empty, and then one morning I got a phone call, and Ned Collins, somebody said, we have somebody who wants to buy the sale loft. I said, oh, really? Who is it? He said, Ned Collins, and I had known him since I was 15 years old. So I said, oh, that's great. So anyway.
And so what do you think is the most special thing about that building now?
I think the most special thing is the history behind it. As building is very much a part of Chatham history, because he made sales there from about 1890 something until around 1930. And then the boat builder named Spalding Dunbar bought it and built boats there for a while. In fact, he built the boats in what is now their kitchen. That was one big room, and it had big doors that opened out where after he built the boats, there was room to get them out the door.
Yeah, just sort of slide them into the water.
Well, it's not quite that easy.
On rails.
They put them on a trailer and took them to the water.
Yeah.
The water's not that deep there.
Yeah. And so how long have you been living in Chatham now then?
How long have I been living here? Well, I started living here when I was 3 months old. But that was only summers. We came for the summer. And then my family moved here year-round in 47 when I was in college. And so I lived here with them until I got married and moved on.
Yeah, in Connecticut, and then teaching.
Yeah, and then after I retired from teaching, my wife and I moved down here.
And because she had roots here too, you said, right?
Did
she have roots here too, in Chatham? Your wife? Did she have any history or roots here at all?
No, she came from Rhode Island.
Okay.
So
and what did she think? What did she think when she first saw it, and saw Chatham? Did she say, "Yes, I'll move here. I love it"?
No, it wasn't quite that direct. We were married for a good many years before we decided to move here. No, but she had grown up in a similar town in Rhode Island, Little Compton, Rhode Island.
Oh, yes. I know Little Compton well.
I see. Okay, so she was very much at home here because it was very much like Little Compton.
Yes, Little Compton's a special place also. Yeah. And so what makes Chatham so special? Why do people who summer here end up, toward the end of their life coming back, or after their career? Or, what makes it so special? What's the draw here? What do you think is so amazing and magical?
I think probably just the geography of the town. It's a town that's pretty much surrounded by water, except on the north. It's got water south, water east, and all the little inlets like the oyster pond, the mill pond. It's ideal for boating, for small boats, and I think that's why people want to come here.
So a final word or any sentiment that you want to leave, if there's going to be a TV show that's going to be on the internet forever and ever and ever after it airs on TV? Is there...
Well, I think the final word is it's a marvelous old building that's had many uses, and the main part still retains something of its flavor, original flavor. I think, if I recall correctly, that Ned Collins kept that main part pretty much as it was, but just opened it up to make the garage. The big room that's now the main living room was, as I said, was my father added that, but it used to have a door that went out to a terrace. Ned put the fireplace in, that's now there. Yeah. So mainly, I think I remember that it's a wonderful old building that's had such a history and so many uses.
It has. And wonder if it's going to be a private home for now, forever, or if it'll ever...
I would imagine it will be. It's a little late to make it into anything else.
Well, maybe they'll start selling clothes out the back door. Who knows?
Could be.
Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
It's very welcome.
A privilege to meet you, and just to know that you were one of the pieces in this big puzzle that is.
Yeah.